You're never gonna make it, you're not good enough. There's a million other people with the same stuff. You really think you're different? Man, you must be kidding. Think you're gonna hit it, but you just don't get it. It's impossible, it's not probable, you're irresponsible.
What's up, Unstoppable Squad? Today we have another NXT results for you guys under yellow lights. I'm Unstoppable Denominator, and let's get NXT results underway, shall we? In tonight's episode, we have some exciting matchups and segments lined up. As the previews, the highlights I watched, not bad. I liked it. It was not that bad. NXT Women's Champion Tiffany Stratton defends her title against Thea Hale. NXT Champion Carmelo Hayes puts his title on the line against Baron Corbin. NXT Tag Team Champion Scallas defends their titles against Edris Enoff and Malik Blade. NXT Heritage Cup Champion Nathan Fraser defends his championship against Dragon Lee. Kiana James faces off against Gigi Dolan. Booker T and Vic Joseph will be your commentators for the event. Baron Corbin and Carmelo Hayes with Trick Williams by his side are both seen arriving at the Performance Center. Next, we have Thea Hale with Duke Hudson versus Tiffany Stratton for the NXT Women's Championship. Thea Hale enters the ring accompanied by Duke Hudson as the Chase U student section supports her. Following that NXT Women's Champion, Tiffany Stratton makes her entrance. Mostly negative reactions from the audience. The match begins as Alicia Taylor performs the formal ring introductions. They lock up in the center of the ring, with the fans engaging in dueling chants. Stratton intentionally gains control by targeting Hale's arm. But Hale attempts to quick pinfalls. Hale then goes for a Kimura submission hold, but Stratton manages to reach the bottom rope, forcing a break. Suddenly, Drew Gulak and Charlie Dempsey make their way to the ring as Hale continues to pursue the Kimura submission. Stratton fights back with her offensive moves, but Hale retaliates and sends Stratton crashing to the outside. Stratton retaliates by slamming Hale hard onto the apron and continues to work on her on the ringside floor. Eventually, Stratton brings the action back into the ring, executing a springboard back elbow in the corner, followed by a powerful stomp for a 2 count. Stratton maintains her dominance with further offense. Hale manages to send Stratton back to the floor with a back elbow, and they both return to the ring. Stratton connects with a sit-out spinebuster for a near fall, but her injured arm is visibly bothering her. Meanwhile, Hale recovers on the mat and discusses strategy with Duke. The broadcast then cuts to a commercial break. Thea manages to escape Tiffany's hold with an arm drag. Tiffany responds with a back elbow and nearly rescues a pinfall. She follows up with a suplex, causing Thea to roll out of the ring to recover. Drew approaches Thea, seemingly saying something to her. While Duke Hudson offers advice from the outside, Thea struggles to get back on her feet, promoting the referee to intentionally a count. Tiffany sends Thea back into the ring, and Thea fights back with punches. Tiffany retaliates with a kick and another near fall before applying a reverse chinlock. Tiffany takes Thea down to the mat while maintaining the reverse chinlock. Tiffany delivers a knee strike and sends Thea into the turnbuckles. Thea targets Tiffany's arm and throws her into the turnbuckles. Thea follows up with a flying back elbow and forearm, as well as an uppercut in the corner, leading to a Northern Light suplex. Thea performs a Chase U stomp and follows it with a somersault, senton, and a springboard backsplash. Coming close to a pinfall, Tiffany counters with a slam and attempts a power slam, but Thea counters with a Kimura submission hold. Tiffany tries to reach to the ropes, but Charlie pulls the ropes away, leading to an argument between the referee and Drew. Meanwhile, they should have been thrown out. I'm sorry, to be honest with you. Thea keeps Tiffany trapped in the Kimura, and Tiffany eventually taps out, but the referee didn't see it. However, the referee is occupied with Drew Gulak and doesn't see the submission. Tiffany seizes the opportunity and rolls up Thea for a 3 count, retaining her championship, thanks to Drew and his stupid other person. After the match, Charlie and Drew verbally berate Thea while Duke enters the ring. Charlie delivers a forearm strike to Duke, and Duke joins in the attack. Drew joins in the attack. Drew says something to Thea and proceeds to kick Drew while Charlie holds him. Andre Chase makes a comeback by kicking Charlie and launching into a series of forearm strikes on Drew. Chase follows up with a flying double clothesline and joins forces with Duke, delivering jabs and bionic elbows. Next, we have Dragunov expresses that he is not exempt from pain and bruises. Just like any other person, he acknowledges the agony of conflict, but embraces and endures it. He becomes one with it, developing an unbreakable mind and an unconquerable will. I don't know. A burning flame resides within him, allowing him to confront any evil that stands before him. His mind, his spirit, his essence will always remain unbeatable. Wolfgang and Mark Coffey are seen backstage discussing their lack of communication with Joe. They mention their intention to address Stacks after dealing with Malik and Edris. Malik and Edris express their confidence and state that it is their time to shine. As we return to focus shifts to Dana Brooke receiving medical attention from the staff. Kalani Jordan enters the scene and introduces herself. Dana expresses her appreciation for Kalani's kind words and mentions how gymnastics skills often translate well in the wrestling ring. Kanelli reveals that Dana has been an inspiration to her, and she is thrilled to see Dana as part of NXT again. Dana expresses her interest in stepping into the ring with Kanelli once her knee has fully recovered. I feel like she might betray her down the road. The broadcast then presents a recap of last week's episode, highlights and the incident where Joe was kidnapped by Channing Lorenzo. Malik Blade and Andres Enoff versus Mark Coffey and Joe Wolf for the NXT Tag Team Championship is on the line. Mark and Blade intentate the action by engaging in a lock-up. Mark gains the upper hand by pushing Malik to the mat. They lock up once again, with Mark applying a side headlock. Mark follows up with a shoulder tackle, but Malik manages to evade a potential pinfall and quickly retreats. They lock up once more, and this time Malik manages to avoid Mark near the ropes. They engage in another lockup, and Malik takes control with a side headlock. Wolfgang then tags in, and Malik successfully escapes a potential double team move from the opponents. Mark and Blade start the match, but Edris quickly exits the ring upon Mark tagging back in. Edris applies a wrist lock and follows it up with a side headlock. He floats over in the corner, executing a side headlock takedown and a forearm strike on Mark. Malik tags in and continues the assault with a side headlock. He delivers a back elbow and punch to Mark, followed by a flying out forearm. Edris tags back in, and they hit a double dropkick on Mark and Wolfgang. Edris follows up with a sling blade, and Malik tags in. Edris lands a running knee, and Malik executes a frog splash, resulting in a near fall. Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo make an appearance on the H balcony. Okay. Edris tags in again and goes up to the top rope and hits a double sledge to Mark's arm. Malik exchanges punches and chops with Wolfgang on the floor. With Wolfgang retaliating with a punch, Malik responds with a chop. Wolfgang counters with a kick and forearm strike. Malik counters with a punch, and Edris sends Mark back in the ring. Edris lands a punch, and Malik tags in. Malik delivers an elbow in the corner and earns a near fall. Mark retaliates with a headbutt, followed by a side headlock. Wolfgang tags in, applying a cravat. He executes a snap nair and gets a near fall, maintaining control with the front face lock. Another snap nair follows, but Malik reverses it. Mark tags in, punching Malik. Mark delivers a knee strike and applies a cravat. Malik manages to hit a dropkick on Mark, then applies a side headlock. Wolfgang tags in and executes a hot shot on Malik. The referee checks on Malik, while Wolfgang delivers an uppercut and punches in the corner. Mark tags back in, kicking Wolfgang and connecting with a forearm to the back of Malik's head for a near fall. Mark applies the Cobra Clutch on Malik, and Wolfgang tags in, delivering a forearm to Malik's lower back. Wolfgang focuses his attack on the neck. Mark tags back in and goes to the turnbuckles. He then hits a flying shoulder tackle for a near fall. Mark maintains a front face lock and lands an elbow on Malik. Edris tags in and unleashes clothesline on Mark, followed by a dropkick. Edris proceeds to punch Wolfgang and Mark. He kicks Wolfgang and attempts a dropkick off Mark's back, but slips before connecting with Wolfgang. Edris recovers with a spinebuster for a near fall. Malik tags in and they execute a heart attack maneuver for another near fall. Edris tags back in. Malik performs a twisting frog splash. Okay, never seen that before. And Edris follows it up with an elbow drop from the turnbuckles. However, Wolfgang breaks up the pin attempt. Malik delivers the clothesline to Wolfgang against the ropes, temporarily tying him up. Mark halts Malik and chaining Lorenzo tries to strike Mark, but inadvertently hits Edris with an uppercut. Lorenzo sends Edris back into the ring, where Wolfgang delivers a TKO after Mark's flying knee, resulting in a 3 count. Mark Coffey and Wolfgang retain the championship. A tweet from Ava is shown indicating the need for a Schism family meeting. The broadcast cuts to a commercial break. After the break, Legend Dari, comprised of Nomar and Lash Legend Jakara and Oro, is backstage with Mackenzie. Nomar refuses to discuss his loss of the Heritage Cup title, but it wasn't him that lost it. It was his tag team. So, Nomar, you should be talking about it. You didn't lose it. Your partner of the tag team lost it on you. You should have defended it yourself. And Lash shows off her manicure. They shift the conversation to the victory last week and assert that Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey are their next targets. Aura emphasizes their unity as a group. Mackenzie asks Nomar who he thinks will win the Heritage Cup title tonight, but he dismisses the question. Next, it's time for Schism to address their issues in the ring. Ava takes the lead, calling the meeting to address the internal conflicts within the group. She emphasizes the need for open and honest communication. Joe encourages Jagger and Rip to express themselves freely. Jagger begins by stating that when they joined Joe, they were promised an improvement in their lives. However, they feel that they are only losing while thriving when they are on their own. Jagger mentions that he has known Rip for 18 years, but does not trust Joe, believing that Joe has either lost his way or is simply insecure. Ava tries to intervene, but Joe thanks Jagger for his honesty and admits to his mistakes. He points out that before joining Schism, Jagger would have been able to voice his concerns because his previous partner prevented him from speaking. Joe asserts that he took Jagger from obscurity and provided him with a new home. Rip then speaks up, acknowledging that they were in a bad place when they first met Joe and were lost and confused. Joe showed them a new path. However, they have recently noticed some inconsistencies and Joe's preaching of inclusivity, which has made them question their loyalty. They suggest that perhaps the problem lies with Joe and not with them. Ava interrupts Rip in attempting to bring the discussion to halt. Joe defends his stance on inclusivity, emphasizing that it led them to Ava, and he will never apologize for that. He challenges Jagger and Rip, asking if they fully committed themselves or if there was hesitation. He questions why they are sitting there looking different and ready to conquer the world when a year ago that wasn't the case. Julius Creed and Brutus Creed, the Creed brothers, and Ivy Nile make their entrance, with Brutus expressing their frustration. Jagger and Rip assert that their issue have nothing to do with the Creeds. Julius agrees that the Creeds are involved due to Ava's action. In the six-man tag match, he suggests that if Jagger and Rip no longer want to be part of Schism and the Creeds don't want them there, they should just implode. Joe counters, stating that the Diamond Mine is a poison and worse than Schism. Julius claims that Schism is a cancerous and they won't allow it to spread throughout NXT. Joe proposes a match between the Creeds and the Dyad for the following week. The stipulation being that the loser must leave NXT. Julius agrees to the match, accepting the stipulation. The broadcast then shifts to a segment showcasing the growth and bond between Bronco Nima and Lucine Price as they grew up playing football together. They discuss the colleges that approached them and how they had to go their separate ways. However, now they are on the same team and ready to dominate. Hank Tank Axiom and Scripps watch the video and acknowledge that Bronco and Lucien are legitimate and will cause damage. Hank remarks that this means there's a new team on the block in Axiom and Scripps. Nathan Fraser walks by and Axiom wishes him luck for tonight. Scripps absorbs that Axiom seems interested in the Heritage Cup, and Axiom confirms that he is drawn to it. The broadcast cuts to a commercial break. Trick Williams asserts that everyone desires championship gold, but it is crucial to put in the necessary effort. He dismisses the idea that Baron Corbin could ever match up to their level, referring to him as just another name on a t-shirt. Rhea Ripley interrupts, declaring that she isn't present to engage in a conversation, but rather to deliver a message. She addressed in the fact that Finn Balor was handling the Judgment Day business, and Corbin made the grave error of interfering. Ripley warns Corbin, you mean Trick Williams, that by meddling in their affairs, he has made himself their target and will now face consequences of his actions. Dragon Lee with Valentina Ferrazza versus Nathan Fraser with Ulyss Leon for the Heritage Cup Championship. Round 1. Lee extends his hand, and Fraser shakes it before they lock up. Fraser executes a takedown, but Lee holds on and takes Fraser to the mat. Lee applies a wrist lock, and Fraser reverses it, only for Lee to reverse it back. Fraser transitions into an arm winger, but Lee performs a handspring to land on his feet. They engage in a Greco-Roman knuckle lock, and Fraser takes Lee down with a side headlock. Axiom makes his way to the ringside during the match. Fraser maintains the side headlock when Lee tries to send him off the ropes. Lee counters with an atomic drop, but Fraser manages to hold on to the side headlock. Scripps joins Axiom at ringside, and they engage in a conversation. Fraser executes a float over and flips across the ring. He goes for a roll-up, countered by Lee with a roll-up of his own. Lee follows up with a snapmare, but misses a kick. Fraser and Lee both miss kicks, and they lock up again as the round ends. Round 2 appears. They lock up once more, and Lee applies a hammerlock, followed by Fraser executing a flying mare. Fraser delivers a drop kick, while Lee responds with an elbow. Lee blocks a drop kick Lee responds with an elbow. Lee blocks a kick from Fraser and performs a dragon screw in the ropes. Lee places Fraser on the turnbuckles and hits a Frankensteiner, but Fraser manages to hold on and secures the 3 count with a sunset flip. Nathan Fraser 1 fall. Dragon Lee 0 falls. Round 3, Fraser begins with a sling blade, and Lee rolls to the floor. Fraser follows with a head scissors, but Lee cartwheels and lands on his feet. Lee hits a drop kick to send Fraser to the floor, followed by a flip dive. Lee ties Fraser's arm in the ropes and delivers a clothesline into the corner. Lee applies kicks for a near fall. Lee executes a lion tamir, transitioning into a single leg crab. He pulls Fraser up from the ropes, but Fraser lands on his feet and connects with an enziguri. Fraser applies a Boston Crab, transitioning into an STF. Lee counters with a roll-up for a near fall. Lee lifts Fraser and hits an Yushunagi or Ishi, I don't know, for another near fall, followed by another near fall as the round comes to an end. I'm surprised that never would have been it, because Fraser is winning 1-0. That should have ended the match. Round 4. Lee charges with a running kick into the corner and follows it up with a leg sweep from the apron. Lee delivers a drop kick into the corner and gets a near fall. Lee lands a punch and attempts a suplex, but Fraser counters with a inside cradle for a near fall. Fraser sends Lee to the floor and executes a suicide dive. Fraser sends Lee back into the ring, preparing for a springboard move, but Lee moves out of the way. Lee lands kicks while Fraser responds with an enziguri. Lee hits a super kick. Fraser retaliates with a super kick to the back of Lee's head. Lee counters with a roll-up into a sit-out powerbomb, securing the 3 count. Fraser 1, Dragon 1. Round 5. Lee begins with a drop kick that sends Fraser into the corner. Fraser answers with a super kick. Fraser climbs to the top rope for a Phoenix Splash, but Lee crutches him and places him in the Tree of Woe. Lee delivers a double stomp. Lee charges at Fraser, but Fraser sends him into the turnbuckles with an overhead belly-to-belly throw. Fraser positions. The broadcast presents a glimpse of Eddie Thorpe training section with Gable Stevenson. Gable mentions that he has been closely following Damon's career and recognizes his talent. Eddie expresses his disagreement, stating that Damon is not an Olympic champion. The training footage showcases Gable providing guidance to Eddie, advising him to stick to the game plan and not allow Damon to get inside his head. The session continues, focusing on various aspects of Eddie's preparation. After the training section, Eddie expresses his gratitude to Gable and asks him to be at ringside during his upcoming match. Gable acknowledges that Damon's parents will be watching, hinting at the significance of the match and the need for the support. Wesley and Miles Bourne are engaged in a conversation when Mustafa Ali interrupts, causing Miles to leave the scene. Ali expresses his desire to apologize to West for slapping him in the face during their match. He admits that he may have become too involved and disrupted the clean finish they had planned. Lee advises Ali to focus on his role as a wrestler rather than involving himself in others' matches. Got a point. Tyler Bate interjects, disagreeing with the notation that Ali was impartial as the referee. He argues that there were inconsistencies in the counts, both fast and slow. Tyler expresses his desire for another opportunity at the title. I agree, he deserves another shot. But guess what? I feel like Mustafa Ali is going to cause himself to get in that. Ali reminds Tyler that he agreed to have Ali as the referee and had his chance. Ali now wants his own match, while Tyler proposes that he will be the referee for that match. As Wes walks away, the argument continues between Ali and Tyler. Meanwhile, Robert Stone searches for Von Wagner backstage. He eventually finds him and asks where Von was, as they were supposed to meet. Von responds by saying that Stone wouldn't understand. Von reflects on the hardship of trauma his family endured, suggesting that Stone lacks the understanding of his experiences. Von expresses that he can't continue with their partnership. Kiana James versus Gigi Dolan. They engage in a lockup and move around the ring, with Gigi ultimately taking Kiana down to the mat using a wrist lock. Gigi goes for a pin attempt, getting a near fall. Kiana retaliates with her own near fall. Gigi follows up with arm drags, transitioning into an arm bar. Kiana manages to reach the ropes, promoting Gigi to release the hold. Gigi blocks a kick and delivers punches to Kiana. Gigi pulls Kiana away from the ropes, causing Kiana to roll to the floor. Gigi executes a wrist lock, takedown, and a back heel kick. She goes for a roll-up pin, but Kiana kicks out just in time. Kiana slaps Gigi, who responds with forearms. The action spills to the floor as they continue their confrontation. They make their way back into the ring, and Gigi attempts a backslide pin, but only manages to get a near fall. Kiana retaliates with an Irish whip, but Gigi sends her to the apron. Kiana responds with a forearm and a slingshot. Elbow drop, earning a near fall. Kiana delivers punches, and Gigi fires back with her own punches. Kiana lands a knee strike and sends Gigi to the floor. She follows up with a forearm to Gigi's back and slams her head into the mat. Kiana applies a reverse chin lock, and Gigi fights back with forearms, kicks, and clotheslines. Both women exchange clotheslines and an up-down on the mat at the same time. Kiana retrieves a bag, and Gigi kicks her. Kiana swings and misses with the bag, and Gigi capitalizes with a kick and a crucifix driver for the 3 count. Your winner, Gigi Dolan. If you want to know what is in the bag, I'll be saying what is in the bag here in a second. After the match, Kiana attacks Gigi with the bag and hits her with 401k. She then pours orange paint over Gigi and follows it with blue paint. The broadcast cuts to Tony D'Angelo in jail, where he has a guest, Joe Coffey. Tony wants to know how he ended up on Joe's list. Tony's list. Joe reveals that he also has connection and knows people. Tony expresses his belief that Stacks got him not locked up. Joe mentions that a lot of change since Tony's interaction. Tony asserts that he's behind bars because of information's rats, and Joe is fortunate that glass separates them. He mentions that Stacks will take care of it. Joe reveals that he handled the situation himself, explaining that the underboss Stacks possesses ambition in a mind of his own. Tony insists that Stacks is family. Joe reveals that Stacks betrayed Tony, providing a recording of Stacks instructing Joe on what to do to seize control. The broadcast shifts to Roxana Perez answering questions on Snapchat when she is suddenly attacked by Blair Davenport. Next week, Roxana will face Blair in a match. Baron Corbin is shown backstage preparing for his upcoming match. Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams are seen walking backstage. The broadcast proceeds to a commercial break. Carmelo Hayes with Trick Williams versus Baron Corbin for the NXT Men's Championship match. This is your main event of the night, guys. Baron Corbin and Carmelo Hayes engage in a fierce battle. Corbin attempts to hit finishing moves, end of days, but Hayes manages to evade it. Corbin delivers a clothesline and runs Hayes into the ring. Jesus, ringside news scared the shit out of me. Hayes into the ring post. They continue exchanging blows inside and outside the ring. Hayes showcasing the silence. Corbin applies a half Nelson and chin bar combination, but Hayes fights back, hitting drop kicks in a springboard clothesline. But back and forth action intensifies, with both competitors displaying their arsenal of strikes and maneuvers. Hayes hits a springboard DDT and various other impactful moves, including a slingshot DDT on the apron. Finally, Hayes ascends the turnbuckles and lands nothing but net for the pinfall victory. Winner Carmelo Hayes retains championship. Here's what I think is going to happen. Trick Williams could possibly turn on Carmelo Hayes at one point cause him to lose the championship. Who knows when that could happen, but it's going to be a feud between those two. I guarantee, mark my words. You and I know how wrestling works. In a backstage segment, Braun Breaker asserts his dominance and declares that no one can control him. He challenges someone to face him next week, confidently suggesting that they will find out the outcome. The broadcast concludes with the credit rolling. Alright, Unstoppable Squad, thank you guys for watching. Like, share, comment, and subscribe, and I'll be back possibly for wrestling news and possibly tomorrow for definitely for the results of AEW Dynamite tomorrow morning. I'm Unstoppable, and I'll see you guys tomorrow or later for wrestling news. And I'm out.
Hey everybody, it's your boy Skiz here. And if you don't subscribe to Blonde and the Unstoppable Denominator, then you are a toothy bumfuck, pussy ass bitch motherfucker.